All of it. The richest human being alive taps you on the shoulder, hands you the whole thing, and walks off. $1.2 trillion, dollars, yours. So, what do you actually do with it? And be honest, your brain already went somewhere ridiculous. A private island? A gold toilet? Buying the school that gave you detention? Yeah, no judgment. Let's go there. Let's really go there for a second. Because the number is genuinely absurd. Musk didn't just get rich. In June of 2026, he became the first person in history to be worth over $1 trillion after his rocket company SpaceX went public. At one wild moment, his fortune shot past 1.4 trillion. That's a stack of money so big your calculator gives up. And now, in this little fantasy, it's sitting in your name. So obviously, you lose your mind, as you should. First thing you do? You quit everything. School, job, that group project, gone. You'll never sit in traffic again because you now own the road, the car, and possibly the concept of Tuesday. You buy the house. Then you buy the neighborhood the house is in. Then you buy a private island because a mansion feels a little basic when you've got 12 zeros. You get a jet. No, you get a fleet of jets, one for each mood. There's a Sad Tuesday jet. Nobody questions it because you're the richest person on earth now, and rich people are allowed to be weird. You pay off your mom's house, then your best friend's student loans, then their cousins, because why not? You're on a roll. You walk into your favorite restaurant and buy the restaurant mid-meal just so nobody can ever tell you the kitchen's closed. You could go bigger, way bigger. You could clear out the whole planet's problems if you wanted. Some estimates say ending world hunger for a year would cost around $40 billion. And to you, at one point, $2 trillion, that's barely a rounding error. You could fund it and still not really feel the dent. On paper, you're not just rich. You're solve things that governments can't rich. You feel unstoppable, untouchable. Basically, a real-life superhero whose superpower is a bank card that never says declined. Right? Okay. Here's where the record scratches. Because you go to actually do it. You go to buy the island. And the seller says, cool, wire me the $2 billion. And you open your account to send it and it's not there. Not like that. Here's the part nobody tells you. That $1.2 trillion was never sitting in a checking account. Musk doesn't have a vault. He isn't swimming through gold coins like a cartoon duck. The vast majority of that fortune isn't cash at all. It's stock, ownership, pieces of companies. Roughly a fifth of Tesla, a big chunk of SpaceX. That's what the number actually is, and that changes everything. See, net worth is not the same as money you can spend. Your net worth is what everything you own would be worth if you sold it. But you haven't sold it. It's a price tag, not a pile. And the second you try to turn that price tag into actual cash, something strange and kind of brutal happens. Say you want real money, so you start selling your Tesla shares. A few is fine, but you're not selling a few. You need billions, so you're dumping enormous amounts of stock onto the market all at once. And when a mountain of shares suddenly floods in, the price drops. Basic supply and demand. More sellers than buyers means the value sinks. So the more of your fortune you try to cash out, the less each piece of it is worth on the way down. You reach for the trillion, and the trillion shrinks in your hands. It gets weirder. A lot of that stock is why you'd even have control of those companies in the first place. Sell it off, and you're not the owner anymore. You're just some person who used to be. The wealth and the power are the same object. You can't spend one without losing the other. This isn't a trick I'm inventing to ruin your day. It's real, and it's why Musk himself, back before he sold a big batch of Tesla stock, straight up described himself as cash poor. Let that sit for a second. The richest man on the planet, calling himself cash poor, because the money on the headline and the money in the pocket are two completely different things. So, what does it actually mean to have $1.2 trillion? dollars? It means you own things, enormous, powerful things. Companies, factories, rockets, the labor of thousands of people, the direction those companies go. What you're really holding isn't a spending account, it's control, influence, the ability to decide what gets built and what doesn't. That's the real prize hiding inside the giant scary number. Not stuff, steering, and that flips the whole daydream on its head. Because when most of us imagine being a billionaire, we imagine consuming, buying, owning, relaxing, never working. But wealth at this altitude barely works like that. It's not a finish line you cross so you can stop. It's a set of controls you're now holding, whether you wanted the responsibility or not. The money can't sit still. It's tied up in things that have to keep running, keep growing, keep being managed, or the number melts. There's something almost lonely about it when you really look. You can't spend it without shrinking it. You can't keep it without steering it. The freedom you pictured, sitting on a beach doing nothing, is one of the few things that Trillion actually can't buy you, because the moment you walk away, it starts to come apart. And here's the part that quietly matters for the rest of us, the ones not getting handed $1 trillion today. When you see a headline that someone is worth a mind melting amount, remember what that word is really doing. It's a snapshot of what their stuff might sell for on a good day. It goes up and down by tens of billions in a single afternoon. It's real, but it's not a room full of cash, and it's a lot more fragile and a lot less spendable than it sounds. Musk's own fortune bounced from over 1.4 trillion to under 1 trillion in a matter of days. Imagine your bank balance doing that before lunch. Money at that scale stops being money. It becomes a kind of pressure, a thing you manage instead of a thing you enjoy. So maybe the real flex was never the giant number at all. Maybe it was the boring stuff. Money you can actually reach. Choices you actually get to make. A life you can walk away from for a weekend without it collapsing behind you. Which brings it back to you. If someone handed you Musk's 1.2 trillion tomorrow, but told you the truth first, that it's not a spending spree, it's a set of controls, that you can't cash it out without watching it shrink, that its power way more than its pocket money, would you still take it? Be honest with yourself. Do you actually want the trillion? Or do you want what you thought the trillion was? Tell me down in the comments. What's the first thing you'd try to do with it? And do you think it would even worst plan wins, honestly. I want to hear it.